Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Resurgence meta here in Season 4 Reloaded has so many good choices. We, of course, just a few days back covered the general top 10 best loadouts you want to use for this half season, just in general, and several of those loadouts apply greatly to Resurgence style gameplay. But today, I wanted to focus in on a few additional loadouts and weapon combinations that work great for that more aggressive, fast-paced style that Rebirth currently offers. So jumping right in here, first and foremost, let's talk some perks and equipment. This is going to stay the same on really every single class setup here today. Smokes, still rocking these as my tactical. That instant concealment is so clutch in so many different situations. Reviving, rotating, whatever the case is there. Throwing knives for those insta finishes, preserving ammo, still getting those pings on the radar makes life super easy there. Perk 1 Survivor for that faster regen. Bomb Squad to negate some incoming damage on explosives because people love to spam Betties and mines everywhere right now. And then Gung Ho so I can reload while I'm tac sprinting. Like I said, that stuff stays the same on pretty much every single loadout. Now we can focus just on our weapon combinations. And first up here, we've got a deadly one. The GRAU 5.56 and the LC10. These are two absolute meta choices. The GRAU for mid to long range, the LC10 for the close range. They work so good on Resurgence and Rebirth gameplay here. The GRAU especially really thrives before it gets out to that final damage range, and you're going to be taking a ton of the fights within that most effective range on Rebirth in specific here. So most important part of the setup on the SWAT 5.56 is, of course, that GRAU 5.56 conversion kit, that ammo mod there. I do rock the Infiltrator stock on here for the better strafe speed. Just makes this thing a little bit more aggressive when you're in the middle of a gunfight, which is super convenient there. The only extended mag option is going to be the 50 rounder, so of course we're rocking that. Vertical foregrip for the best horizontal control, making this pattern really predictable. And then monolithic suppressor extending out our range and our velocity, and of course keeping us off the radar. We got a 1277 velocity here and a 47.5 meter effective damage range. This thing really thrives in that Resurgence style gameplay. Then the LC10 up close, same old here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This thing fries. Long barrel gives us an effective damage range of just over 16 meters. Ranger foregrip for some better control and some better sprinting movement speed. That's a win-win. Extended 2 max option here, so of course we're rocking that. Quick draw rear grip for the faster ADS, and then Infiltrator stock yet again for that better strafe speed, just making this thing more agile and aggressive. This is such a fun combination to rock right now. Next up here, we've got a really solid sniper setup, and funny enough, it's actually featuring no Black Ops 6 weapons, the Kar 98K and the M13B. Kar 98K's one-shot range is just over 60 meters, which is solid for Rebirth gameplay. That's going to be a lot of the situations you find yourself in, especially as you're rotating into those late zones. It's obviously much more condensed and confined, so the one-shot headshot capabilities are going to be there for you at all times, basically. And the M13B, the buffs that this thing saw are fantastic for sniper support. It's so aggressive in that mid-range there that this really works well for that. So for the car setup here, what we're focused the most on is extending out our range and our velocity to the best possible situation there. First up though, I am using an optic here. This is really a matter of preference. I really like the Antless AS7. So many of you have called me weird for enjoying this optic, but I feel comfortable with this. I hit shots with this. If there's a different scope you like more, feel free to go ahead and rock that instead. Spirit Fire Suppressor doing the same thing as all the other suppressors here, extending out our velocity and our range. 7.62 long barrel giving us even better velocity and range, and then a high grain ammo doing more of the same. So we're gonna put the 904 velocity. That'll work well for Rebirth gameplay. 67 meter one-shot headshot is also really generous there for how aggressive this thing is. Speaking of aggressiveness and mobility, no stock on here. Faster ADS, movement speed, all sorts of stuff like that. A 322 ADS is so much faster than every other one-shot sniping setup in the game, basically. So this thing works perfect for that aggressive Rebirth gameplay. Then the M13B, close to mid-range, it's going to hold its own just fine. I do like the Nidar model 2023 here as an optic. I'm just really comfortable with that. Again, matter of preference, though. If you like a different scope more, feel free to switch that out. Spirit Fire Suppressor, better range of velocity here, gives us a 798 velocity, which is usable on Rebirth for sure, and nearly a 40 meter effective damage range is really good too before that starts to drop off. Bow Breaker Underbarrel will work the same as any other vertical grip, just straight up helping out with some control there, so you could use any of those. Just makes the weapon easier. 60 round extended mag, pretty basic, and then also the Bruin Flash rear grip for a faster sprint to fire, and ADS, making this thing a tad bit more aggressive. Obviously, it's a bit slower than some true SMGs, so anytime you can speed it up and make it more aggressive, that's going to be a win. But this thing pairs well with really any sniper setup in the game. And by the way, as we're going through all the weapons and setups here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like. It's always really appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure that every single day you are up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up here, this is such a fun loadout. You got a TTK Demon. All right, so originally I had planned for the DM10 to be on the list here, and then they nerfed that just after I recorded the video. So then I shifted that to the TR2, and then they nerfed that just after I had re-recorded the video. So now we've got the Goblin here. I wanted to maintain a semi-auto gun here for those of you that like this playstyle. The Goblin, not as broken as the original TR2 or DM10 was, but still really effective if you know what you're doing. Here again, I run rapid fire to help out with that TTK, extended to, of course, reinforced barrel for better range and velocity, the Otero red dot, and then monolithic suppressor. You could also switch that out for a compensator if you just want to focus straight up on recoil control. But yeah, the Goblin, if you're a fan of semi-auto guns, marksman style guns, great alternative to the TR2 and the DM10. And then the SAUG for that close range covering us there so we can run and gun. Long barrel on here, 15.2 meter effective damage range is solid. G grip to help out that hip fire to ADS transition accuracy, some control on there as well. Really like the feel of this in specific situations. Extended 2 being a 55 works. We do have a 909 RPM, so the damage per mag is not phenomenal, but it's sufficient for sure. Commando rear grip helps out with sprint to fire and ADS, so just makes this a little bit more aggressive. And then recoil springs, giving us some free recoil control, making this thing even easier to use. One of my favorite feeling SMGs in the game. Hey everyone, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at G Fuel. We are, of course, in the midst of summer. It's hot outside. You want to stay hydrated? Look no further than G Fuel. They got plenty of flavor options for their new hydration and focus formula. And of course, if you're looking to stay energized, there's a ton of options there as well between the tubs and the cans. And G Fuel is constantly adding in new flavors. Trust me when I say there is something for everyone. There are so many bangers. Some of my absolute favorites: watermelon limeade, hype sauce, fruit punch, all fantastic. You can mix and match flavors as well. They got so many choices. If you ever want to grab anything at all from the new and improved G Fuel site, use code Immortal at checkout. The link for that will be down in the description below if you're interested. Next up, another very, very effective rifle and SMG combo, the Cypher. Low recoil, great range, really versatile as well. And the PPSH, great TTK, great range, cover in your close range as well. The Cypher setup, this is one of the most versatile but also straightforward builds in the game. It is low recoil, good velocity, and you can use this in a variety of situations, running and gunning, posting up over the long range. I like the Volsky reflex in this case, again, just one that I cycle into my rotation here and there. Monolithic suppressor, of course, and reinforced barrel, both extending that range and that velocity. 1238 velocity, 52 meter effective damage range, perfect for Rebirth style gameplay. Because it's not too difficult to use, I don't feel like I have to go all in on vertical foregrip, so I go for the Ranger foregrip. Some control, but also some mobility there back as well. Then extended 2 being a 60 rounder works fine for all squad sizes. Really consistent rifle setup here. Then the PPSH, that spray and pray machine up close. Long barrel gives us an effective damage range of 16.5 meters. G grip works great here as well. I do a lot of hip fire with the PPSH into an ADS, so that's going to help out there. Plus, give us that better horizontal control. Extended 255 here, 952 RPM. Again, the damage per mag is not insane, but it is serviceable. It's not a huge concern. I like the agility stock here for the ADS and the strafe, but ergonomic is really good. Quick draw is solid. Infiltrator is solid. Balanced is solid. Like, you could use so many different stocks here depending on which stat value you find the most worth it, whether it is ADS, whether it is strafe, whether it's hip fire, general movement, pick your poison there. There's no real wrong answer. And then recoil springs yet again, just to make things a little bit easier in terms of the control. This is a setup that you are confident with regardless of the situation you're in, basically. All right, a little bit of a post-edit Zach here, different shirt Zach here as well. Originally, this spot was going to be held for the Krig with an 8 attachment build going in on Gunfighter. However, they did nerf that a few days back, of course, again. And now I think it gets replaced by the GPR. This is another do-it-all rifle. It is just efficient everywhere, especially on Rebirth gameplay. You could use this as a run and gun style aggressive rifle. You could sit back and pick players off of headies over range as well. This thing is going to be viable in like every single fight you're getting into here, basically. So first up here, I am going for the Otero red dot again, just simply a matter of preference there. Monolithic to help out with our range and our velocity. Reinforced barrel for more of the same. We got a 1209 velocity, 50 meter effective damage range, working perfect for Rebirth. Vertical foregrip helping out that recoil control. Extended 2 here, going to be a 60 rounder, works just fine there. Quick draw rear grip for the faster ADS, obviously helping out with some of that versatility here. Infiltrator stock for that better strafe speed, feeling fantastic, of course. And then I like recoil springs, especially for Rebirth. You don't really need a 1400 velocity with overpressured. You might as well make this thing an absolute laser beam with recoil springs on there. I mean, like I said, this thing does it all. Close, medium, long range, you're gonna be able to fry with this thing, and it does it all while also being incredibly easy to use, just like super low recoil as well. So that being said, that is gonna wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.